What I wanted to, to try to get across here today is why you might want to start a business. What are some of the benefits of starting a business? Really quickly, how I started a couple businesses, and then how you come up with ideas for businesses. Like, how do you take a thought, I'd like to start a business, and bond that with an idea that is a business idea, and then move it forward. So let's start with this question. Why might you like to be an entrepreneur? And to put it really in a nutshell, in America today, this is one of the easiest ways to make transcendent amounts of money. So it's possible to work for a company and make a salary, and you get paid every 2 weeks. There are ways in that mode to make transcendent salaries. The most recent good example is you can go into banking, and what you can do is you can completely destroy an economy and make a lot of money while doing that, and then when it fails, you can go to the government and tell them that if they don't fix it, the whole economy is going to completely tank, and they'll pay you more money. Now, that's a great way to make money, and it's one of the most clever ideas I've seen in a long time. But that's not the norm for the work and get a paycheck every 2 weeks. If you want to make transcendent amounts of money, for example, if you have in your head, I want to make $1 million or $10 million or something like that, you have options. You can inherit the wealth, but most of us don't have a lot of control over that. You can marry somebody who's wealthy. You could win a lottery or something like that. I mean, those are all possibilities. But becoming an entrepreneur, starting a business, getting it going, having it work in America is, probably the best path if you want to make transcendent amounts of money. So that's, for a lot of people, that's the reason why they want to be an entrepreneur. There are other reasons. You want control over your lifestyle, you want to be the one who's in charge, whatever. Some people don't like the whole money-grubbing capitalistic part of entrepreneurship, so there's another avenue, and that's social entrepreneurs. So where entrepreneurs basically measure their success in dollars, social entrepreneurs measure their success in things like impact or social capital. They have other measures, and their job is to move society forward by solving certain problems. They pick a problem and go to solve it. So the mindset's the same, the desired outcome tends to be different, and the measure of success tends to be different. So if you like money, you become an entrepreneur. If you like changing society, you become a social entrepreneur. Hello. So let's look at the definition of an entrepreneur. It's just a person organizes, operates, assumes the risk for a business venture. So you come up with the idea, you get it off the ground, you grow it. And this part about risk, we need to talk about because it's right there as part of the definition. So the risk part of entrepreneurship is that you can start a business and it cannot work. And realistically, if you go to the like the Small Business Administration website and look up stats, there are lots of stats about business startups and business failures, and roughly it's 1 in 10 businesses that get started last 5 years. That's you have a 10% chance of success. So if you compare that to a lottery ticket, I don't know what the Powerball odds are, but I think it's like 1 out of 100 million or something like that. And even the North Carolina State Lottery, the odds are not 1 in 10. So when you start a business, you're going to invest time and energy and potentially money, and you have the risk that it'll all not work out. And then you're going to either give up or you're going to start another business. But that's part of the game. And we'll talk a little bit more about this as we go on. But that's the risk. And it's just, it's just part of the thing. And that is part of being an entrepreneur, is willing to invest time, energy, money with the knowledge that it might not work out. And you just come to accept that. So let me talk a little bit about the risk part of this with 3 quotes. Quotes that kind of help frame the thing. So this one's from Woody Allen. 80% of success is showing up. So I interpret that to mean if you take the time to get a business started, you've overcome the gigantic hurdle and the hardest part of doing it, which is getting up the mental fortitude and energy to actually put something in motion. That's the hardest part. If you can get over that threshold, which means, getting, I don't know why it is that starting is so hard, but if you can just get something going, you're more than halfway toward success. Lots of businesses, it's sort of like trying to launch a rocket. If you can get it off the pad, it has a pretty good chance of going farther. Not always, obviously, but just getting off the pad, getting on the pad is a major accomplishment, and then getting off the pad is a major accomplishment, and businesses are like that. There's another phrase you might have heard, beginning is half done. Okay, that's the same thing. If you can just get yourself in motion, you're a good part of the way there. Here's another of the 3. Success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm, which is, that addresses the risk part. You're going to start a business, especially your first business. You're going to start it, and there's a good chance, especially on the first one, that's not going to work. That's just a fact of life. So the next part of it, if 80% of success is showing up, then this addresses what happens if it doesn't work. This is a measure of your perseverance that I would consider to be essential for people who are going to be entrepreneurs, because just to look at how stuff works is launch. I told you I started as a hobby. It got going. It was working. We came up with a business plan, and we presented that to venture capitalists to raise venture capital. Well, it turned out nothing in that business plan worked because everything changed. I don't know if you remember when the internet bubble burst, but we wrote the business plan before the bubble burst, and then the bubble burst, and then we had to execute the business plan. Well, the entire planet had changed in the meantime. So that even though we were successful, we survived the bubble, we still had to persevere. We had to be willing to look at everything about us that was failing and discard it and come up with a whole new thing. So even when you have something that's working, you have to persevere. And then this, those who have succeeded at anything and don't mention luck are kidding themselves. What this is getting at is, in many cases, things work, especially if they're new, because of luck. Pure, unadulterated, random luck, where stuff happens and you're able to take advantage of it, or it's able to propel you, or whatever, and your business either gets off the ground and becomes viable, or it transitions from one plateau to a whole new level or something. Things happen that you can't account for. The key thing about this, and another part of beginning is half done, is that you can't take advantage of luck unless you're in the game. You have to actually be playing for luck to have an impact on your business and work magic. So if luck doesn't hit your business, that's okay, but you can't have it hit your business unless you're unless you're participating. So that's sort of, you have to get started, then you have to persevere, and then you have to have kind of this antenna structure or something that lets you capture luck and make the best use of it. Those are kind of three essentials when you're thinking about business ideas.